I'm your host Reem bin Mohammad Rafi, and here is my YouTube channel Zamir Universal. How can we get the conflict or this illegal occupation of Palestine by the scum of this society from all around Eastern Europe, Russia, Canada, and different parts of the world gathered here by so-called Balfour, the one who wrote a letter, and that Balfour Agreement never ever was translated and was never judiciously divided, and the Palestinian people were never given religious rights or even to breathe. They were kept in an open prison, of the largest prison both in Gaza and in the West Bank. Now, how can this land be gotten back? And the easy way to do it is not to just, for the last 75 years, believe these people, these rascals, these hypocrites, these liars. And remember that the Christians and Jews are bosom friends, and they are never ever going to be speaking and talking to you the right way or the truth. So the only way you can do is to get inch by inch thing back from these beasts. And now is the time, hit them and the back. And this is the weakest time, with no tanks, with no arms supply, with no food, with no security, with no Iron Dome, with nothing with them except, few aircrafts with which they are bombing and killing the innocent people and destroying. And I think that the whole world knows the extent of cruelty these people can inflict on the other human beings who they don't think they are human. They are subhuman as far as the Zionists are concerned. And the Zionists, remember, are not just Jews. They are Zionists are Christians, and Zionists are Jews. Both together are Zionists. So they join hands and grab the land. And what you got to get back is get back first, elect. There is some activity now, and that was the right way to do it. Get inch by inch back and get one of the ports. Then creep up and get the rest of this, and join it with the Gaza Strip and the gap between the West Bank and the Gaza Strip, so that you have a continuous land and access to the ocean, both in a large port already built up for you. You can flatten it as they did it to Gaza to you and kill their all babies and women and every Jew which is there, or you just keep them and show their humanity and just let them go. Don't kill them. Don't just show their mercy. That's what a Muslim is supposed to do it. And once it is all vacated, then occupy and put your administrator. Get it from Iraq, from Iran, from Hezbollah or Hamas, but they have no Jew to govern that. And then allow those Jews who want to live in peace with you and just keep them in there. They have always lived under the protection of Muslims, and they will be happy, the real Jews, not the Zionists who don't believe in God. Once you've done it, then you get back the Golan Heights, then get back those Sheba farms, and then all that area which has been bombed and put on fire by Hezbollah. There's miles and miles of that is all empty now. When all those settlers have moved out, they are empty. Occupy those houses. Let the Houthis go in. Let the Taliban from Afghanistan go in. Let the Iraqis go in. Keep the Lebanese there. Keep the Hezbollah there back at the borders. But occupy those houses. Put your own administrators, and don't let these settlers ever come back. They came back from abroad and they will go back. Most of them have dual nationalities. Great majority of them have already left, and then the rest will leave. There are three people you have to take care of as they do it. So you have many drones. So target these three. Which one is the Bibi Netanyahu, the war criminal. The other one is, their finance minister, and then the security minister, Ben Gvir. And these three, I will show you their pictures, and these are the ones you have to take care. And all, you don't have to go and shoot them, or you don't have to go to assassinate them. You don't have to kill them. Tit for tat, just send 3 drones and they'll take care of them. And once they are gone, just like they poisoned Yasser Arafat and PLO was dead. And ever since then, there has been no such thing as Palestinian Liberation Organization. Similarly, there will be no Israel. Israel will be gone. Once these, radical or right wing or the extremists are gone, then the rest will just be cow down, and they will, like pussycats, they will leave on their own.
Netanyahu himself, he is not sure if he achieved the target of their attacks. But I can say that based on what Dr. Khalil Haya, he is the head of our negotiations team, in his interview with Al Jazeera Arabic, he confirmed that Mr. Muhammad, our brother, our leader, Muhammad al-Daif, is now hearing and witnessing Netanyahu press conference and laughing about these claims and allegations.
Okay, so after the al-Mawasi attack then, sir, where does this leave the ceasefire negotiations as far as Hamas are concerned?
I think it is now known for everyone, Hamas, the mediators, most of the politicians, especially in the Western countries, the leaders, know that Netanyahu is planning every day how to sabotage any chance to reach a ceasefire. Exactly, if we can remember that on May 6th, when we have conveyed our message of acceptance to the brokered proposal by the mediators, on the same day he stormed Rafah and attacked Rafah and occupied Rafah crossing. The same attitude he has adopted every time when we near to reach a ceasefire. Either he is creating new ideas, new proposals, new thoughts, or he is committing a crime inside Gaza.
That's certainly the Israeli Prime Minister's position, sir. I'm just asking you, regardless of what's happened at al-Mawasi, are you still willing to be part of the conversation? Are you still willing to talk about a ceasefire? Are you still actively engaged in those talks?
First of all, now there are no active talks. We are waiting for the Israeli response. This is what we have received from the mediators, that they have discussed with the Israeli delegations in Doha our remarks and our ideas about the latest proposal, which is Biden's proposal that we have.
Through the military and Shabak has conducted today an attack on Gaza in order to eliminate Muhammad al-Daif and his deputy Rafa Salami. Until now, we are not 100% sure that they were terminated. However, I promise you that in any event, we will reach every Hamas commander and leader. Muhammad al-Daif is a killer. He's the man number 2 in Hamas chain of command. He is the man who planned and led the October 7th massacre as well as other terrorist operations. He has the blood of many Israelis on his hands.
Let's start out with the situation at Gaza's hospitals, what we just laid out there, including Al-Shifa, as we were discussing. Dire and perilous. That's the description from the World Health Organization. And that's, again, where those pictures of those babies are coming from. What is the latest there right now?
Yeah, and difficult to look at. What we can tell you is on the ground and from the air right now, there are reports that the fighting has intensified. Airstrikes as well as ground fighting near many of the hospitals in Gaza. And the WHO saying that Gaza's biggest and most technically advanced facility, Al-Shifa, right now, quoting here, is not functioning as a hospital anymore after days without power, without water, without basic medical supplies there to help some of the thousands thousands who are there and injured. We know that there is, according to these doctors, constant gunfire and bombing in the region. The IDF has denied hitting al-Shifa and has accused Hamas, as you talked about, of embedding key infrastructure in and around that hospital and others. They say they are going to continue to root out Hamas, whether it be near these hospitals or in the dense urban centers, that this fight's going to continue.
Jay, as we mentioned, medical staff inside, specifically about these babies really sounding the alarm. Is anything being done to try to evacuate them or the many others holed up inside? Obviously, the big question is, how does that even happen if they need the type of attention around the clock, if they need to be transported somewhere else, and is there anywhere safe to go? But that was big talk over the weekend, that there was sort of these corridors opened up to do so. But is that really even helping anything or a viable option?
Yeah, and here's the thing. We've seen a lot of people moving through those corridors, most of them walking by foot 4 and 5 miles at times. As for those babies taken out of those incubators, because as you talked about earlier, no power and no oxygen supply to help those children. Look, there are more than those 36 babies that need to leave. There are critical patients there that also need to leave. There have been ambulances in the area. The problem is many of the roadways out have been bombed. They're impassable by ambulances. We know the IDF has been communicating with some of the human rights organizations, trying to figure out a way to get some of these patients, including those babies, out. To this point, though, we've seen no indication that that's happened at all.
And Jay, all this is happening, though, as thousands of Palestinians either have already evacuated this area in the north of Gaza to head down south or continue to do so sparingly. But, the southern part of the Strip also has seen a lot of bombing as well. What is the situation in terms of finding somewhere safe right now within Gaza? And are the humanitarian pauses that have been happening here and there making any difference?
Yeah, it's kind of a mixed bag, Savannah. Look, it's less intense fighting in the south, but I don't think anyone would say that it's safe by any means. We have seen, tens of thousands daily walking through those corridors, getting to areas. But we know that there was some airstrikes yesterday near some of the camps that they are staying in, some of the shelters that are being used for those who have made the trip from the north. And we also know that during one of the humanitarian pauses for moving people through the corridors yesterday, that had to be stopped down while people were in the middle of that trip because of intense fighting as well. So it's certainly not even a safe passage at times for so many who are trying to get out of the north.
All right, Jay Gray, thank you for your continuing reporting from Tel Aviv for us.
Through the military and Shabak has conducted today an attack on Gaza in order to eliminate Muhammad Ad-Daif and his deputy Rafa Salami. Until now, we are not 100% sure that they were terminated. However, I promise you that in any event, we will reach every Hamas commander and leader. Muhammad Ad-Daif is a killer. He's the man number 2 in Hamas chain of command. He is the man who planned and led the October 7th massacre as well as other terrorist operations. He has the blood of many Israelis on his hands.
यूनिवर्सल टेलीविजन को सब्सक्राइब करना ना भूलें। उसके बाद बेल बटन पे क्लिक करें और अपने कमेंट्स के सेक्शन में अपने कीमती जो ख्यालात का इजहार जरूर